Okay, here we go. We're going to be writing an Afro House track in 10 minutes, in 1 hour, and in 10 hours. Let's get going with the first 10-minute track. So I'm starting with this chord progression. I've already prepared it, and I'm just playing it on a simple contact piano here, the Noir felt piano. Okay, so that's the chord progression we're working with, and I've got the timer on my phone. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to hit the start button, and then at the end of 10 minutes, we'll see how far I got. Just to get started, I want to just throw in like a plain drum loop. Let's just quickly grab just so I can get a sense for the groove of this. I want to find some vocals to go with this, something that just inspires me a bit. 120. That sound right. I just want to put on Complex Pro. I think if we loop this, come around like that again, see how that sounds. Okay, I like that. I think I want like a typical Afro House guitar sound. Okay, I want some like background paddy stuff. It's in 122. That's nice. We're just using samples this time. We don't have time to produce shit in 10 minutes. Warp that to 122. And I actually just want to split out the kick drum. So it was this one. I'm going to take the kick drum out of there and then mute this drum loop. Let's just start building our own. And 122 here. Some effects in there quick, maybe vocal shouts. Need some rises and fallers, like a noise. Down lifter for the drop kind of idea. I'm gonna try some bends. Oh, time is up. Let me just do this to the end and stop. Alright, so let's just see how far we got in 10 minutes. I'm not so sure about that little vocal shout there, but let's check it out. There we go. Okay, so that was the 10-minute track. Next up, we're going to take this idea and try and develop it over 1 full hour. All right, time for the 1 hour track. I'm going to start the clock in 3, 2, 1. So what I want to do here is basically just create a full arrangement really quickly out of the material that we have, and then do my best to make it as interesting with the time that we have. And I'm also going to kind of build out the drums a bit more. If I look at this, we've got basically a 8-bar loop. I think we're going to go for a 32 or 64 bar drop. And then I actually want like 2 minutes of intro. So I'm going to move this over. Right, now it's a bit easier to look at. Let me just start by arranging the intro. Right here might be a good place to not just do the full progression, but instead can hold this out. I want to see how this would sound like an octave down. I like it down. Yeah, and this is a vocal track. It's got like a cool little hook in it, so I feel like I need to bring that in somehow. Maybe we add one over here and just like really wash them out. Yeah, let's make a bass line, a sustained kind of bass. Okay, I'm going to just grab a compressor and sidechain. I actually like this ooh thingy now. So this is cool, but I feel like we need to beef this up a bit. I'm going to duplicate this and just try thicken it up a bit. I'm going to use Vocal Synth, like for the chorus one. put that one on this one, and on the other one, I'm going to beef it up with something else, stacked octaves. Let's see how it feels in the mix. It does feel more like a chorus now, so distort, maybe bring that down. And then on this one, we can maybe add still a little bit of effect. I did want to start adding more detail, but we only have half an hour. I want to actually just finish the arrangement. From here, I think we need a bit of a break. I'm just going to make like a little snare build up over here. Keep opening up that sustain. We're running out of time. I'm going to copy this whole drop, paste it there. And then I think I want the guitar to play over here. Riser. Okay, then we need a new drum loop over here. Not exactly what I want, so I'm just going to grab a one-shot cymbal. I'm just going to make 16. And another thing that I want is a longer open hat. And I want something going do 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 do. How much time do we have? 10 minutes. 10 minutes to make a do 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 thing. Let's use a diva quickly. That'll do. Do some quick little automations here. Let's actually grab some animal sounds. Go here in the breakdown. I like that. It's got like a cool. Let me make a quick pad using Diva. Four minutes. I think it works. Okay. Actually, we need to finish the arrangement. So I'm gonna. Okay, how much time do we have? We literally have 1 minute. Let me see if I can quickly find a fill. Something like that, maybe. Make it huge. We have time for another fill. One last fill. Let's just make sure this is in time. 1:20. Yes. And stop. All right. Let's check out the 1 hour result. Okay, that was our 1 hour track. Quite a big improvement, I think, from the 10-minute one. I think this track has lots of potential, so I can't wait to see what I can do in 10 hours. I'll see you in the next 10-hour section. All right, time for the 10-hour session. Well, I'm not going to be doing this in 10 hours straight. I'm probably going to break it down into 2-hour sessions. So in total, it'll be 10 hours, but I'll be taking breaks between. So I'm going to hit the start timer now, and the clock is ticking. So what I want to do is just first focus on the core idea before I start getting into the details of the track. I like the vocal, the chords, everything, but I feel like it can get a bit repetitive and novelty wears off a bit. So like I want to work on the breakdown, maybe go through the vocals and see if we can find like a sort of B section to the vocals, or a verse, so to speak, and then like work on the piano, the really core elements, the things that matter, the things that define the theme of the song. And then once all of that's done, then I'll get into like, you know, drum fills and like cool little effects, and then like right at the end, you know, really focusing on the mix down, trying to get that all super polished, and the master. I think I want to focus on the breakdown now, see if we can find like a different vocal for the breakdown. I also think like the piano here could be a bit stronger. It's not like really blowing my mind, and I kind of want this section to really feel good. Let's see what we get with this. I might try and find a vocal to write to, so I can get the feeling of it. Yeah, I've made these folders with some combined vocals. I like the second one. I'm going to try that. That's in A sharp. It should be up 4 semitones. Can complex pro it. Maybe now we go back to this progression. Yeah, so I like this with a higher velocity here. But I also want to try to develop the piano a little more. We could actually have a break from the piano here and have like a respace or something. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Take out the high notes. And one thing I want to do is with these little stabby things. Oh, I like them in this section, that they're that frequent. But I think in this first section, maybe have them half as often. Just have them kind of coming up in volume. Be cool to have like some little variations in this. Maybe like a delay that does something. This section needs a little bit of differentiation from this section. Yeah, I think I want to add like a little bit of oomph to this, like a bit of power. I think it'd be cool to make an extra pluck thingy over here. I was also hearing like maybe a cool effect happening there. I like that. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Okay, I'm back after my break. I've also just quickly named everything so it's easier for me to work. I just had an idea, which is to take this guitar, basically just duplicate the whole channel quick, delete everything except for one of these, and then could have like a little variation where we take that and repeat it straight after it gets played. So it goes dee-dee-doo, dee-dee-doo. You could put it into a different space so it doesn't just feel like a repeat. You could maybe like put it up an octave, wash it out, small reverb. Maybe do this. Maybe it's a little too high. Let's just try it at the normal octave and see. Yeah, maybe I should just do that. Let's see how this would sound. Quite like that, actually. Maybe it's nicer if we get rid of the birds over here because it gets all dark. And maybe do like a little... I like that. Try this as well. So we've got this pad B, which I might bring in to this section. I want this to be new, I want it to be different. So I might duplicate this and play with these. I'm not super happy with the way the snare build and the noise build sounds. And if we do something like this. Okay, I'm going to take a break from the middle of the track and just look at the intro and see. No, it is an extended mix, so this doesn't need to be super interesting, but I still want it to be cool. And I might steal some of these effects, like... So I'd like to have like a little bit of full effects happening to this vocal. On this one, we could have delay happening here. Curious to see what happens if we add another section to this. We bring back this pattern. If we went back into that. That's cool. So that is basically another 2 hours done. I'm actually starting to run out of ideas on how I can actually make improvements, but I do want to work the full 10 hours just to see like how good I can get it sounding. Okay, so something happened. Last night I decided to do another hour of work on this, and I messed up the recording, so I'll talk through the things that I did. So first of all, you can see here I've added some drums. Wasn't quite happy with the way the drums were feeling, so I've muted this hat and this loop. I didn't want it to be so like kind of, I think it was almost too Afro-y for the vibe of this track. And then this shaker had that same rhythm in it, so I muted that. Then I added these, this, that loop, and then these loops over here. And so this is what they sound like together. Now I'm really happy with how the drums are sounding. And we still got like this loop in there, the normal perks, that low perk. Yeah, and I haven't done anything to the kick drum or anything. So I did do something here, which is in the breakdown. Placed it in a few more spots in the track, and I think it fits quite nicely like that. And then a few more times over here. I was messing around a bit with the piano. I tried a couple of things. I like the melody, but it just felt a bit out of place and didn't really fit. So I tried kind of remaking that melody. It felt a bit robotic. So I settled with just doing something simple to these chords. So it's exactly the same chords, but I've taken like the top 3 notes of the first 2 chords and just repeated them. Which adds quite a nice groove to the track. this one, I decided to actually bring it into the drop because I really like how it sounded in the build. It almost like made this hypnotic rhythm, but then it disappears, and so I just felt like it should be there. So if I play the build, you hear that? So yeah, now what I want to do is, because it's the next day and I got fresh ears, although I wish I had done this very first thing instead of first explaining it, because now I've heard the track and I'm not coming with completely fresh ears, but I'm going to play it all the way through and then kind of take some mental notes on things I want to improve over this 2-hour session. Another thing to note is that I also put some volume automation here. You can see this loop is quieter here, then it gets louder, and then it's loudest over here. All right, I think the first thing that I want to fix is I don't like in the builder, the shaker, it's got this weird pattern. I don't know, it kind of sticks out strangely there. I want to just try bringing one of these shakers back a bit, maybe, or just mute it. Yeah, that sounds good. Very minor things here. Okay, I want to start doing a little bit more on the mix down now. One thing I noticed is that the guitar, I think it's kind of like peaking quite a lot. I'll mute that, let's see. You can see we are not really hitting the limiter at all, but if I turn this on, you can see we just did minus 6 dB of gain reduction, which is quite a big spike. Look at these huge peaks. First of all, I'm just going to take the normal Ableton saturator and then just drive it a bit. So I've added quite a bit of saturation. I mean, you do hear the saturation a bit, but look how much clipping it's done. It's a lot more controlled now. Alright, so now what I'm thinking probably need to start doing is like a bit of bus processing. I've gotten pretty far. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to fill 10 hours. Anyway, maybe I can figure out stuff to do. So yeah, I want to do bus processing, but before I do that, I want to see how close I can get this to sounding right without any other processing. And I want to start referencing some tracks. So I'm going to bring in a couple tracks. Okay, so I think I'm going to grab a couple of these and compare it to mine. I mean, mine feels pretty well balanced, I would say. Let's also check out a couple other ones. This one definitely has more like high-end energy in it. Maybe we can try and go for something like that and see how it feels. Check out this one. Yeah, I think overall maybe a little bit of reduction in mids. When I compare all three of them, it felt like mine had a bit too much sitting in the mids. This is the sort of, all of this stuff here is the problem. My mixing process is weird. I kind of master and mix at the same time. So I'm going to put Ozone on here. I'd just like to see how loud I can get my track first before I like start, unnecessarily reducing all the dynamics and stuff. Because if it's loud enough as is, then there's no need. I'll go to the loudest part of the track. Push it any harder than that. I think the limiter's doing enough work there. Yeah, it's got these big transients. Sounds really good. For starters, we can probably saturate this. And then on the limiter alone, you can even push it a little harder. Without this, and with it, Sounds pretty much the same. Now we've probably saved quite a bit of headroom. I felt like the intro, one thing that could improve it a bit is like a little bit of ambience. Maybe take some more animal sounds. There's some nice changes there. Maybe we can take this and put it in the outro as well. Okay, I'm going to take a break from this and maybe get some feedback from some people. All right, we are back. Got a little bit of feedback from Mr. Chris Hurt, the guy who produced this sample pack with me. Well, there were 4 of us who made the sample pack. He's the owner of Enormous Tunes. He worked with Nora En Pure and EDX, done remixes for huge pop artists, Grammy-nominated producer.
Hey Julian, thank you for sending over the demo track you made with our Afro House pack. Sounds wonderful. I really love the chord progression that you came up with. Also love the atmosphere of the beats that are not too much in the forefront, but some kind of laid back supporting the vocals and the chord progression. So it's a very cool approach to work with our sample pack. I took a different approach actually today because I'm working on a remix, and I also used a lot of samples from our sample pack, which go really well in all sorts of styles. So my approach today was a different one than yours, but still we were able to work with the same sample pack. Good luck for the rest of the 3 hours. Really exciting to hear what you will come up with in the rest of your time. Good luck. See you. Bye-bye.
The only constructive feedback, other than the fact that he liked it, was that he said the respace in the breakdown was a bit overpowering compared to the drop. I am going to quickly do a small gain reduction over here. Then I'm going to play the whole track through with fresh ears. Yeah, I think almost running out of things that I feel like I need to work on. So one thing stood out to me here, it's bugging me a little bit, and that is on this guitar. The second bleep loop, it's a little early, that transient. What I might do is just copy this one, paste it there, use that one again. Yeah, it's that one. So this is good now, and I feel like I'm just going to go consolidate that, turn it into a loop, and drag that loop across here, lock the automation. Maybe one thing we could do is like try and resample this guitar, make some tiny little effects with it. Maybe just turn it into another like reverb swell kind of thing. Okay, now I think what I want to do is make a short, like a radio edit for this. I plan to actually release this. Yeah, I don't think I can do another 2 hours on this track, to be honest. It is what it is. So if we're on 8 hours plus the hour that we initially spent. But yeah, I'm gonna save this, bounce it out, then go and listen to it like in a few different environments, and yeah, take it a little bit more of a break. A pretty cool track. Okay, I am back. Got some feedback. People really like the song. I mean, the only constructive feedback I really got was that the sweeps were too loud, and then when I listened to it again, I was like, holy shit, they are too loud. But I guess that's what happens when you work on a song, you know, consistently for hours and hours. A riser could be too loud the entire time. You just are not paying attention to it. Okay, now that that is done, I'm going to do a little bit more on the master, just like squashing it a little bit more. I'm going to put a clipper on there. I'm going to use a fancy saturator, use this newfangled saturate. Now that's pretty loud, I'd say. Okay, let me have another listen through. I think this might be the final version. Wrap. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.